Hey everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my TBR for Middle Grade March. So Middle Grade March is a month-long readathon hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Katie from A Life Between Words. I will link their channels and announcement videos in the description below, and it is dedicated to reading middle grade. So there is a group book for this readathon, which is Pony. I'll put a picture up here. I don't have access to this book without buying it, and since I'm on a book buying ban, I won't be reading it. But if you want to read it, I wanted to let you know in case you were only seeing my video. Otherwise, I do have books for the 5 prompts, and let's dive in. The first prompt is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title, and for this I'm going to be reading Freya and the Magic Jewel by Joan Holub and Suzanne Williams. This is the first book in the Thunder Girls series, and I know nothing about this book because it is one of my winter covers. If you're new to my channel, Winter Covers is part of a series where each season I predict 5 books on my physical TBR that I think could be set in the season I'm currently in based on their covers, and then I go into them blind to see if I was right. So I legitimately know nothing about this book other than I think it might be set in winter. I will link that below if you want to check out the other books I chose or my reasoning for this book. So I was excited to get it on my TBR since I have to read it anyways, and 5 words in the title, so easily fits the prompt. Next up, I had to read a book with an orphan, and for this I chose Witches of Brooklyn by Sophie S. Kabasi. We're following a girl named Effie who lives with her aunts, as I believe her parents have died, and I believe that fulfills the idea of orphan. She no longer has parents. I really struggled with this prompt as I wasn't sure whether I had a book that would fulfill it, but I googled middle grade books with orphan main characters, and this book came up and I knew I had it on my TBR, so I think this should fulfill the prompt even though she's living with her aunts, because I think the idea of her being an orphan is the fact that she's lost both of her parents. I've heard really great things about this, and I'm really excited to check it out. The next prompt is to read a book set in Asia or with an Asian main character, and for this I'm going to be reading Pehua and the Soul Stealer by Lori Lee. And this book is part of the Rick Riordan Presents line and deals with Asian mythology. So the description on Goodreads says, Pehua has a bit of a reputation for being a weirdo. A lonely 11-year-old Hmong girl with the unique ability to see spirits. She spends her summer days babysitting her little brother and playing with her best friend, a cat spirit no one else can see. One day, Pehua accidentally untethers an angry spirit from the haunted bridge in her neighborhood. Whoops. When her brother suddenly falls sick and can't be awoken, Pehua fears that the bridge spirit has stolen his soul. She returns to the scene of her crime with her aunt's old shaman tools, hoping to confront the spirit and demand her brother's return. Instead, she summons a demon. Thankfully, a war shaman with a bit of an attitude problem shows up at the last minute and saves her butt. With the help of this guide, Pehua will have to find her way through the spirit worlds and rescue her brother's soul before it's too late. Little does she know she'll have her own discoveries to make along the way. With his unforgettable character's unique nature-based magic system, breathtaking twists and reveals, and climatic boss battle, this story based on Hmong oral tradition offers everything a fantasy lover could want. So I am really excited to check this out. I really love the Rick Riordan Presents line, so I'm hoping that this will be another amazing book in that collection. Next up, I have to read a contemporary, and for this I'm going to be reading Some Places More Than Others by Renee Watson. In this book, we're following Amara, and all she wants for her birthday is to visit her father's family in New York City, Harlem to be exact. She can't wait to stay in the brownstone where her father grew up and to hear all the stories about the family she never knew. But New York City is not exactly what Amara thought it would be, and neither is her family's reunion. Still, as she explores, asks questions, and learns more and more about this place, her father, and their history, she begins to realize how, in some ways more than others, she connects with him, her home, and her family. And she discovers even more about herself. Newbery Honor and Coretta Scott King Award-winning author Renee Watson offers a heartwarming and inspiring story about the people and places that make us who we are. I had a ton of options for middle grade contemporary. I have a bunch of them on my physical TBR, but this one kind of jumped out at me and I decided that I wanted to give this one a try for middle grade March. And the last prompt is to read a book that was published before you were born, and I was born in 1987, so I decided to go with Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I don't know anything about this book, other than it is a classic middle grade that is extremely popular. It is one I've heard about probably my entire life in various ways, shapes, and forms. I know that in one of my other favorite middle grade series, Tilly and the Book Wanderers, that it is mentioned frequently in those books, so it'd be interesting to finally read it. And there is a modern graphic novel retelling of it, which I want to read, but I want to read the source material first because I've read the modern graphic novel retelling of both Little Women and The Secret Garden and really enjoyed them. So I wanted to read the modern graphic novel retelling of that. So it seemed like a no-brainer to pick this for book published before I was born. I am very curious to see whether I enjoy it or not. And I look forward to being able to read the modern graphic novel retelling once I'm done with it. So this is some of my TBR for Middle Grade March. Are you participating in Middle Grade March? If so, I'd love to know what books you have put on your TBR. All of my social media, including my Discord, is linked below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me horse emojis for the group book pony. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!